We don't have to tell you that the cost of living nowadays is getting expensive. Inflation soared last month, topping out at 3% for the first time since June.
Well, we know many of you are feeling that pinch at home, so we asked Nick Foulks with Great Waters Financial to help us out here. He joins us now. Great to see you as always.
Thank you for having me.
We need your advice right now.
Hopefully it's good.
Let's start with January's inflation report. What did that reveal?
Yeah, so the inflation report for January was at 3%. In December it was at 2.9, but this is the third consecutive report where we have seen an increase. So overall, we're seeing an increase in the cost of goods and services rising. The big hit here was actually in food and energy. We saw prices increasing in food. We saw a major increase in natural gas prices as well.
Right when we're heating our homes, and of course groceries are always a need. So the Federal Reserve did cut rates in December of last year. So what could that mean for meetings in this year?
Well, the Fed Chair Powell said even before the rates came out, before the newest report, that they were going to be very slow in seeing any more cuts. So it's highly likely that this report is not going to change the pace that they're on right now.
And I mean, what do you take from that? Or are your clients asking you about that? People who are planning around what the Fed could or could not do?
Absolutely, because think about it this way. You have people that are trying to figure out what do they want to do with their homes, if they want to downsize, if they want to buy a new home. You have people that are trying to figure out, should I be investing in things like CDs or high interest savings accounts, or how is this going to impact the market? So there's a lot of questions. That's why it's so important to have a plan that's accounting for all of these different variations.
All right. With these prices still going up, you got a list of ways that people can try to budget themselves well and save some money. So how can people cope with these higher costs of living?
The first thing is you just have to get a budget in place. I know that people don't like to do that, but the reality is if costs of goods and services are rising, you need to know what are the things that are actually rising in your household. If you can't put a pulse on that, it's going to be very difficult to figure out what can you maintain, what can you control. Sure, you can cut out vacations, you can cut out eating out, but what if there's other expenses within your control that you can reduce that are directly impacted by inflation?
How do you suggest tackling that, making a budget?
First things first, right? Go to your actual accounts. So go to your bank account, go to your credit card, and get a list of the transactions. A lot of them actually have tools built in where you can see where your spending is going in what category. So that's really helpful. It's a great jump off point.
Helps paint a picture, certainly. Then you say to tackle high interest debt. That's another thing you suggest.
Yeah, debt, which is a four-letter word, if we're paying attention, is not great. It's always going to pull people in the opposite direction. I find it so interesting that everybody wants to find the right investment that'll make them 8, 9, 10%, right? But on the other side of that coin, we ignore the fact that if you have things like high interest credit card debt, it's pulling you in a negative 19%, a negative 26%. So getting rid of that high interest debt can actually propel you forward towards saving towards the future in the way you want to.
And lastly here, consider a high yield savings account. So not just the standard one that I have in my bank right now.
Yes, there's more opportunities out there for people to save. So high interest rates work in two ways. Yes, if you're trying to take out loans, it's going to be more difficult, it's more costly for you. But if you're a saver, there's an opportunity for you to utilize things like high interest savings, high interest money markets, even CDs to capitalize on these rates.
Tell us how people can work with you and find the right fit to help guide them through their own budget and their own decisions.
Yeah, they can check us out at greatwatersfinancial.com, or you can go to Live Greatly events and come out to one of our educational events to learn more.
Sometimes when people hear financial advisor, is it a certified financial planner? Is it just someone who's managing my money? How does someone know kind of where in the category they fall?
So it's great to check out the certifications and review the organization you're working with. We have an entire team of advisors that surround our clients. So we have specialists in different fields that are working with you, certified financial planners, as well as planning advisor specialists, client experience advisors. So it's making sure you have the right fit for you, but that you have a team that supports you.
Okay, helpful as always, and maybe more important than ever. So good to see you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Nick.
You, Nick.